Welcome to Virtual STEM Club Articulated Grabber. I'm Sandy, and today we are going to take some fun basic supplies and make a little articulated grabber that you can pick things up with. You should have picked up your Take and Make bag. It'll have everything you need to do this project. Let's get started. In your Take and Make bag for the Virtual STEM Club Articulated Grabber, you're going to find 2 wooden paint stir sticks, 3 long pieces of cardboard, 2 half-size pieces of cardboard, and by that I mean they're the same length as a long one, just cut in half, 5 of these, they call them brads. You only need 4, but we did include an extra one just in case one bends real strange and you can't use it. You'll get a roll of duct tape, a rubber band, and a piece of string. You might need from home either a pencil or a pair of scissors to poke holes in our cardboard, and it pierces pretty easily, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then we've also included as little pieces for adjustment on your articulated grabber, some extra cardboard and a couple of craft sticks. And once we get our basic grabber built, then we'll explain what you can do with these extra pieces of supplies. So let's get started building. The first step that we want to do to build our articulated grabber is we're going to take our wooden stir sticks, and you'll notice on one end they have these little indentations. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and kind of overlap those indentations, and if you can see where they line up, we're going to overlap them there, and then we're going to take our duct tape and tear a piece off. If you can't tear it with your fingers, sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. Then you can just take a pair of scissors and cut your duct tape, and it's pretty sticky, but you'll want to tape these in a couple of different places just to secure them together and to give us a little strength with our articulated grabber, and wrap them as tightly as you possibly can in a couple of different spots. So again, if you can tear the tape, tear it. If you can't, take a pair of scissors and cut it. And it doesn't really matter exactly how long your tape is, just so you can wrap it around a few times. And just, at this point, we're just securing the 2 wooden sticks together for our handle. And that's what that should look like. We're ready to move on. Once we've got the 2 wooden sticks secured together, we're going to poke some holes in our cardboard. So for the 2 smaller pieces of cardboard, we want holes at each end. And pencil works pretty well on this. You can just take a pencil, poke it through. I don't know if you heard it poke, but just pop it through. If for some reason you have trouble with that, you can ask an adult or an older sibling in your house to help you. If you do use scissors to poke your holes, which you can do if you're having trouble getting the pencil to go through, make sure you ask an adult to help you with that, because poking holes with scissors can be a little tricky and we don't want anybody to get hurt. Just, again, for the two shorter pieces, just poke holes in the end. If you have to work your pencil through a little bit or put a hole from each side, you can do that. All right. So, and use, if you have a newspaper or an extra piece of paper, make sure you put that underneath your cardboard when you're poking holes so that you don't get pencil on your mom's table or whatever you're using. So we're going to take two of the long pieces and we're going to poke holes in one end, and then we're going to poke a hole in the middle. So we'll poke a hole in the end, and we just want to make sure that our hole went through, and if it didn't, just poke your pencil back in there until your pencil comes out the other side. Kind of wiggle it around. See it come through. And then we'll go about halfway. And you can see we've got the pencil through there. And again, be careful with the pencil and or scissors, whichever you're using. You can hurt yourself. But once we've got those two pieces of cardboard with the holes in them, we'll move along to the next one. And this piece, we're not going to put a hole in at this point. That'll be done in the next step. So our next step is to take our piece of cardboard that doesn't have a hole in it, and we're going to bend it in half, something like this. And then we're going to slide it over the wooden stick. And you want to leave about an inch at the end. You know, kind of use your thumb to measure how far away. It's a little hard to see once I fold it over, but something like this. And then once you've got that bent over, you want to take a piece of your duct tape and you can, and see how it's sliding out of there. That's what this next step is. We're going to tape the stick like this, and then we're gonna secure the cardboard to it, and then we're going to wrap it the other way so it doesn't slide around, so it's strong when we get our articulated hand moving. So then we just tape, and make sure though that you don't tape the very end, because we're going to need to put another hole down there. So something like this. Just take your piece of duct tape, tape your, and again, it doesn't have to be the full length, just so we've got it secure. This is our base. This is where our base for our hand right here. So just get this wrapped nice and tight. Something like this, securing the cardboard to the stick. All right. So that is done. Now that we have the bent cardboard secured to our stir sticks, we're going to poke a hole in the end in this part where we didn't have the stick. That's why we left that gap and didn't push it all the way towards the end. Use your pencil if you can. If you can't, you can use the scissors, using caution. Trying to get that lined up. So, I'm going to try with the scissors this time because I'm going through a double layer of cardboard. There we go. There we go. Now I'm through. All right, so now I have a hole on both sides of the cardboard, and that'll take us to the next step. All right, so our next step is to take our longer pieces of cardboard that have the two holes in them, and we're going to crisscross them like this, and we'll put the brads through these center holes, and then we'll take our stick with our hole in it, our hole in the end of the cardboard, I should say, and we're going to poke it through, and we're going to have our grabber like this, and then we're going to open this up like this, flatten it out, and now we have our first step of attaching our grabber to our wooden handle. Next, we will take our smaller pieces of cardboard with the holes in each end, and we're going to take two more of the brads, and we will attach the brad through the short piece of cardboard, and then we'll attach it. We're going to attach it to the hole on the end of the X that we just attached to our wooden stick, and then we'll turn it over and bend that open so it stays attached, and then we'll do the same thing with this one, and we're going to leave this. We'll leave it this end. We'll kind of guide it or direct it towards this side so these overlap. And we will do the same thing. We'll stick it through, open our brads, and lastly, we'll take the fourth brad, stick it through, turn it over, open our brads, and so the back side will look something like this with all of your brads open. And then on the front side, it'll look something like this with all of our pieces overlapped. And now we're ready to see if we can make it move or not move. We'll do the next step to make it move. We're getting there. Our next step can be just a little bit tricky. We're going to attach the rubber band, which is going to help us make our articulated hand move. You want to kind of pull it flat like this, and you might have to work just a little bit, but you'll get it attached under this brad. And if you can almost see, I think, how it's kind of wiggling. And so I don't know if you can see that, but I've kind of wiggled it. I pulled it tight, makes it a little thinner, and then it'll slip under that brad. And then we're going to take the one that's attached to the two smaller pieces that are overlapped. We're going to pull it, and we're going to do the same thing with that one. We'll take the rubber band, we'll stretch it, make it thinner, and just kind of wiggle it. And there should be enough room that will slide right under that brad. We've got one more step and we should be good to go. In this next step, we're going to take our piece of string. You may have to straighten it out while you're using it. And we are going to take that and tie that along with the rubber band underneath this bottom brad, the one that's connected to the two short pieces. So we'll just take this and again, just wiggle it under there. It's pretty thin and it should go. Then just tie it in a couple of little knots and make sure it gets all the way under your brad or fastener, whatever you want to call it. All right. Once you're comfortable with the amount of knots in there, it's time to experiment. All right, we've got our grabber completed. Let's see how it works. So the string, when you pull the string, it should close the grabber so we're able to attempt to pick something up. So we've got an empty plastic cup here. It's closing. So it's working, but I might have to do some adjusting to get it to actually pick things up. And that's where the extra cardboard and the craft sticks in your kit come from. We could take maybe these craft sticks and tape them to the end of our grabber and see if that makes it any more successful in picking up things. So I might do something like this. I don't know if you have things that you might try at home. We could always maybe tape the ends of that cardboard, the extra cardboard that's in your bags, to maybe make a different angle. There we go. That was the adjustment that we needed to be able to grab and pick up our cup. You might be able to pick up other things. You could try heavier things with your grabber. I don't know if you have a balloon at home. Obviously, we're just kind of hanging at the end, but that is the whole point of this experiment, is to see what we can grab, what adjustments we need to make. So have fun with this. hope you enjoyed creating your articulated hand. This project is touching on some engineering principles, and engineering is planning out a project, trying to decide what materials to use, how best to put them together. And so the engineering of these cardboard pieces allowed us to create a simple machine where we put our pieces together, use the brads and the rubber band and the string, and then by pulling the rubber band, and our rubber band came off, but that's a simple fix. And that's part of engineering too, is fixing something that goes wrong. But that created a simple machine that allowed the grabber to close and allowed us to be able to lift different objects with our grabber. And again, I've got that fixed. And so we pull the string, it creates force, it closes the grabber, and that allows us to lift things. And depending on the type of material that you use in your project, you can lift materials. And that's all part of the engineering or the planning process, is to decide what materials to use to be able to accomplish the goal that you have. Thank you for joining us for Virtual STEM Club Articulated Grabber today. I hope this was a fun project for you, and we look forward to seeing any video or pictures that you might have of yourself doing the project. And you can share those with us at the email address that's coming across the screen. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.